So Eric, you and I were just having the beginning of a really good conversation on bot maintenance and management that I decided to say, hey, let's record this and maybe we could share it with a lot of people we're discussing with this topic with out there. So you okay with that, Eric? You okay if we do
Absolutely.
this? Good, because we already started recording. So here's what you and I were talking about this morning, right? Basically, who's watching the bots? Right. So if you think about it, so let me tee up a scenario. You're speaking to people every day, right, that have this challenge. Um, and if you think back the last 5 or 6 years, what I've been seeing mostly is the focus on the front end, right? So it's about what is RPA or who should we be speaking with, or let's kick off this POC, let's build a business case. And, we're starting to see now this shift slowly but surely of people realizing that just as much thought and effort and strategy needs to go into the back end of bot management. So what are you seeing? What are you
No,
hearing?
absolutely that. I think we are at an inflection point, Frank. People are starting to realize that they've got a challenge in managing the bots that they have going. We've talked about scaling for a few years. I think we're at the point where scaling is almost taken for granted. There's still problems there, but people realize that to be able to scale, they've got to be able to manage the bots, and they're realizing that they're spending a lot of time. The support teams are watching the bots in a manual way without really having automated monitoring, automated management.
Okay,
And
let me
we're getting
interrupt.
to that next point.
Okay, good. So good. Before you segue, so could we agree that there's like this flow chart from left to right? The first box is the realization that there's a requirement of time and effort to monitor, manage, and repair these bots. And now you're segueing over to the next important box, which is okay, what are people doing? And for the most part, it's fair to say it's labor intensive, and then you have this kind of musical chairs resource swapping going on. Can you talk
Yeah.
to that?
Yeah, sure. What we're finding and what we've heard our customers tell us is that there's this give and take between development and support. The same people who are supposed to be developing the next generation of digital workers are called back to fix the bots that broke. And whether they broke or the environment's not working, the bot's not working well. And that give and take is slowing down the future and is also costing companies significantly right now. And so what needs to happen and what the leaders in the industry are recognizing is that the bot management question, bot monitoring, needs to be automated. We've got to get eyes off the glass and back to work.
hmm So, Eric, I was speaking to somebody just yesterday morning, and when I explained the platform that we have and the fact that we could do this, kind of a people-free solution, labor-free solution, end-to-end, intelligent, adaptive. Basically, our bots manage your bots. They were just flabbergasted. So in this particular case, they had the challenge, and the most creative they could get is let's do this sensitive. So even the labor arbitrage play doesn't close the gap, right? You think about how many people does it take to manage how many bots, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But they were delighted to hear that what we have is kind of this ultimate of better, faster, cheaper. So you saw the light bulb go off. Are you seeing that as well? Are you getting that response?
Absolutely. And I think where we're really getting additional response, accelerated response, is when we tell them that we can do it not only with one vendor, UiPath, for example, but with Automation Anywhere and Blue Prism and Win Automation. That's when the light really goes off. We can look at all of this in one place, manage it consistently, act on the bots in that way, and we don't need to have IT involved every time we have an issue.
Okay, so really good point. Now let me mention one that came up this morning. So on a call this morning, major, I would say enterprise, sizable enterprise. So of course they love the fact that we would be able to help manage, monitor, repair bots with zero human labor. They love that. That was almost kind of a, I would say, table stakes. I mean, they loved it, but it was almost as if that was the tactical part of the conversation, Eric. And lo and behold, and no surprise to you, because you're the one who always reminds me that is that the labor component is just table stakes. When they got a sense of the telemetry that they would have with this a digital labor centric approach, right? The radar they would have, the heat map they would have as to not only the dependencies, if you will, but bot utilization. You know, all sorts of intel that they would have that they never had before. I mean, it was over the top at that point, and it's you start to get this vision of people really seeing of almost like this next gen strategy of the way it should be. Can you talk to that a little bit?
Absolutely. And it's that information that we're gathering on the bot operations, which bots are running, how long they're running, how successful they are. That information has never been aggregated in a single place. Yeah, you can get it out of UiPath's orchestrator or the control room or the control panel, but you can't see the same things across all the board to be able to measure it. And one call that I was on this morning, we were talking about the ability to for the center of excellence in a company to create chargebacks based on usage that could go right back to the entities that are creating the costs. And that information, the customer said, we've never had that information, and we're trying to figure out how to charge our customers. And this information would be so valuable to us. Well, we gather that. That's almost just a byproduct of what we're doing.
No, good point. So you got this labor-free solution, right? You have this interoperability, right? So where there are multiple providers in, and we're seeing that more and more, right? And then you have the data, if you will, the telemetry. Is there anything else, just with the few minutes we have remaining, Eric, that worth talking about for this short clip here?
It's the ability to understand all that's going on in a holistic manner, and the ability to use that information to predict where there might be problems, where there may be opportunities, where you can save money, where you can, how you can, as I said before, charge back that money. The ability for the center of excellence, the people who are in charge of the robots across the company, to really get one view of everything that's going on in automation today in the RPA side, but tomorrow in the whole hyper automation world. It's all, this information, the telemetry, is going to be usable, actionable, and very, very useful.
Okay, so parting advice to those watching this that have 25, 50, 1,000 bots or more. What is your advice to them if they're currently today struggling with bot management?
Well, the first thing is automate this. If you're in a digital journey, not only the base automations of the process is important, but automate the management of that process. And then use the information you gain from the automation to make your automations even more effective and successful and reliable.
Okay, great, Eric. On the back end of this clip, I'll make sure we add contact information. Anybody wants to contact you, learn about our offering, see a demo, and I appreciate your time, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.